Disclaimer. The video serves informational and entertainment purpose only. The content is considered speculative and should not be treated as confirmed fact. We encourage you to conduct your research and form your conclusion. She didn't quit. She was cornered. That's the claim now. Not from fans, not from gossip blogs. From legal documents. Rachel Zegler, once branded a diva who destroyed a production, now says she was set up, sabotaged, filmed, replaced, all before she ever missed a line. This isn't just a lawsuit. It's a counterattack. And if what she says is true, it's not just her image that's about to change. It's the entire industry.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Rachel, can I try to find some autographs for us, Rachel? Rachel, please. Rachel, got time for Rachel? Maybe on the way out?
Rachel Zegler's not just speaking out. She's making damn sure her version is heard. Loud, clear, and in court. The entertainment industry runs on image, polished, pretty, rehearsed. But when that image cracks, it doesn't crumble quietly, it detonates. And Rachel's countersuit didn't just defend her name, it ripped the lid off what insiders are now calling one of the most chaotic backstage implosions in recent theater history. This isn't just legal drama, it's a power shift. Anonymous sources, bold castmates, even producers, the ones who once stood behind the original lawsuit, are reportedly scrambling. Rehearsals went from intense to silent. Some actors won't speak at all, afraid they'll be the next headline. Others are quietly preparing statements that suggest Rachel may not have been the problem after all. And sponsors? Backing off. One major brand that was set to headline the show's premiere has pulled out. Another paused all marketing until the legal situation is resolved. Translation: this is too hot to touch. Ticket sales are stalling. Fans who once flocked to see a fresh take on Evita are now wondering if the show will even open. The new lead stepping into Rachel's role, reportedly feeling the weight, not of the role, but of replacing someone who maybe, just maybe, didn't deserve to be replaced. And behind it all, Disney is watching, because this fight may be about Evita. But Rachel's name is also tied to their Snow White reboot, one of the studio's most high-stakes projects. If even part of her claims hold up, the optics shift. From meltdown to manipulation, from liability to victim. And online, the narrative is cracking. Creators are reanalyzing footage. Fans are stitching together interviews, spotting signs of restraint, of stress, maybe even fear. This was never about proving Rachel was perfect. It's about proving she wasn't alone, that what looked like a public unraveling wasn't spontaneous, it was engineered. She was called a diva, entitled, difficult. They said she stormed off, that she couldn't handle criticism, that she wasn't ready for Broadway's pressure. But now, those same accusations are being turned upside down and aimed right back at the production that made them. Rachel's lawsuit isn't just denying the claims, it's naming names, dates, behaviors, and it's accusing the very people who framed her breakdown as unprofessional of orchestrating it. Suddenly, the whispers are changing tones. Crew members are backing out of NDAs. Support staff, the ones who saw everything from the wings, are reaching out to Rachel's legal team. And in the court of public opinion, the labels are falling apart. Diva, or a young woman who got gaslit on stage and then blamed for the fire, entitled, or the only person in the cast asking why schedules were being rewritten last minute, why changes weren't being communicated. The press thought they had their headline, but the story won't sit still. Producers now look panicked. Lawyers are playing defense on every call. And that new actress, the one cast in Rachel's place, she's being dragged without mercy by fans who now believe she's just a PR shield. Even neutral theater blogs are walking back their coverage. The story we were told might not have been the story at all. This isn't just a case, it's a reckoning. And Rachel, she's not flinching anymore. Because the more people dig, the more they realize she didn't fall apart, she got pushed.
When she's starring in it and she's the main character. Go ahead, Rob, play the clip.
And to everyone who hates when I win, the winged victory came to the Louvre in pieces, and people still line up to see her. And I can only hope that despite my flaws, and despite my cracks and my breaks, and there are many of them,
She's a great actress.
that at every premiere and everything I do, people will wait in line to see.
The ego on this girl is ridiculous.
Wow.
It wasn't just a lawsuit. It became a movement. As soon as Rachel's legal team filed the countersuit, the internet lit up like it was opening night. But this time, the critics were in the comments. Justice for Rachel started trending by noon. Fan edits resurfaced. Interviews where Rachel looked Tired, restrained, holding back like someone under pressure. Clips slowed down, captions added, "Look at her face when they mention the director." One viral thread broke down timeline inconsistencies in the original claims, showing rehearsal dates that didn't match up, and stage notes that painted Rachel as cooperative. So she was out of control, but also early to rehearsal for 3 weeks straight. Then came the cast leaks. Screenshots, texts, nothing too explosive, but just enough. One unnamed ensemble member posted, then deleted, "There's a version of this story no one's ready for." She kept that show alive longer than anyone. Even respected Broadway voices started weighing in. Tony-winning performers, who once stayed silent, now subtly backed Rachel with cryptic posts and retweets that spoke volumes. And theater blogs? Flipping. One podcast episode titled, "Did Rachel Crack?" got retitled to, "Did the industry break her first?" Even Disney, once completely mum, issued a vague PR statement saying they were closely monitoring developments. Translation? They're sweating. Because Snow White isn't just a movie. It's a franchise bet on the actress now suing the system. And here's the final twist. The same people who once roasted Rachel for being too confident are now praising her for speaking up. Because in this era, silence isn't strength, receipts are. The same voices that once praised Rachel Zegler for her poise were the first to flip when the narrative got messy. She's ungrateful, too outspoken, not ready. But here's the irony. She wasn't loud, she stayed quiet, professional, silent, while the story wrote itself against her. Until now. Because the countersuit, it's not just a legal move, it's a mic drop. She's not fighting for a role anymore. She's fighting to prove she wasn't just cut out of a show. She was cornered out of her own career. And the twist? The problem wasn't her attitude. It was her autonomy. Producers wanted a star, but not one with a spine. They wanted applause, not accountability. Silence, not self-respect. And when she refused to shrink, they tried to shrink her for the audience. Now, that audience is turning the lights back on. And suddenly, every whisper about Rachel, diva, difficult, unpredictable, starts to sound like the oldest trick in the book. The labels weren't random, they were strategic. Because once you make someone a problem, you don't have to treat them like a person. And Rachel, she didn't just survive the fall, she made it public. Now the system that thought it could quiet her is scrambling to mute the fallout. And the loudest voice in the room might just belong to the girl they tried to write out.
It is the real beginning of my life as a young lady of America. Of America.
She walked into that theater with a script in her hands. But somewhere along the way, the industry wrote her out of her own story. And now, she's writing back. Because what happened to Rachel Zegler isn't just a headline. It's not just drama. It's not a quirky tale of a young actress who couldn't take the pressure. It's a blueprint of how powerful people rewrite narratives, of how control is masked as concern, of how young women in this business are often easier to label than to listen to. And when you push back, you're a diva. When you ask for clarity, you're difficult. When you won't play along, they cut the lights and tell the world you stormed off set. But here's the thing. For once, the footage didn't lie. The leaks didn't disappear. And the girl who was supposed to go quietly is still here. So now we ask the question they hoped no one would. What if Rachel Zegler was never the problem? What if she was the warning sign? What if all of this, the silence, the spin, the so-called scandal, was never about one actress, but about how the system reacts when someone doesn't shrink to fit the frame? So tell me, was this a fall from grace or the beginning of a much bigger reckoning? You decide, because the curtain hasn't dropped yet. And Rachel, she might be standing at the edge of her second act. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Speak now, or let the industry keep telling its version of the truth. Because this time, we're watching. And that's the tea for today, my little gossip gremlins. If you enjoyed this drama buffet, don't forget to hit that like button like it's your ex's new partner's Instagram. Aggressively and with zero shame. Beauty. Subscribe to Fame Files so you never miss a single scandal, meltdown, or red carpet disaster. I'm literally serving up hot gossip every single day, even if my Wi-Fi begs me to stop. And listen, be a doll and tap that bell too, okay? Because your girl Macy's got bills to pay, celeb egos to roast, and a grocery cart full of overpriced almond milk that won't buy itself. Shopping cart money. So until next time, stay nosy, stay fabulous, and remember, I spill it so you don't have to sip in silence. Bye.